You know very well you are not starting tomorrow, okay? You know you're not going to start on Monday. You know you're not going to start at the first, the brand new year. You're not. You're not. And the reason why we lie to ourselves, see, I was guilty of this too. Every time it was time for me to lose weight, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start tomorrow. I'm gonna start on Monday, and tomorrows and Mondays they never came. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jasmine. I've lost over 100 pounds by changing the way I eat and exercising. And I've yo-yo dieted for years upon years upon years, probably about a good 8 years before I finally locked in and lost that weight. And it's so crazy because that time around when I did lose all of the weight, I started on a Wednesday. And I started towards the end of the month. It was May. And so it wasn't on a Monday. It wasn't the first of the month. It wasn't the beginning of the new year. It was literally in the middle of the year on a random day. And that's because I was just fed up with being 340 pounds. And I was so ready to change. See, the reason why we talk about laters and tomorrows and stuff is because we're not truly ready to commit. I'm going to say that again. The reason why we do this Mondays and tomorrows and all these things is because we're not truly ready to commit. Because if you were really ready to commit, you would just start right this second. You're still hoping that by saying you're going to wait till Monday that you can build up some motivation that you don't currently have because you're not really ready to quit. You're not really ready to change. You're not really ready to go to the gym. You're not really ready to start eating less food. You're not really ready. And we all get ready at different times. Sometimes people are ready when they're diagnosed with something. Sometimes people get ready because of an experience that happened that might have embarrassed them. Sometimes they're ready because, they're tired of sweating, doing the simplest things, right? But we all arrive to that moment on our own timeline. And it's not till you're truly ready, 1000% ready, that you're actually going to change, right? You can watch all the motivational videos you want, okay? You could binge watch my content for years, okay? But again, until you are mentally ready to change, you're not going to. But you don't want to say that. Like, even though you might be 50 pounds overweight, or maybe you've already been diagnosed with high blood pressure, maybe you are already diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, maybe you already are winded going up one flight of stairs, right? Maybe you're already experiencing really bad things because of your weight. I know I was, but you're still not ready. But you don't want to say that because it just sounds bad. Your fear is that people are going to look at you like, what? So you convince yourself that you'll be ready tomorrow, but you're not. You're not ready. See, I already had high blood pressure. I already had pre-diabetes. I already had high cholesterol. I was already 100 pounds overweight. I was already winded doing the most simplest things. I already didn't like my body. I already had all these things stacked up against me. But you get to a point at a random time where you're like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. And for me, it wasn't necessarily something crazy that took place. I literally just woke up and said, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I changed. I didn't wait till Monday. It was a Wednesday, like I said. And I need you to know that the longer you delay, the harder you're making it on yourself. I'm going to say that again. The longer you delay, the harder you're making it on yourself. I tell people all the time, there's no such thing as maintaining obesity. Okay, you don't maintain your overweightness. You just get bigger. Okay, let's just be real for a second. You don't maintain being 50 pounds overweight. You gradually get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So I always tell people you're either going to get bigger or you're going to get smaller. But you, at the size you're at, you're not maintaining that. It's not maintenance, okay? You are gradually getting bigger and bigger and bigger because you lack discipline. I know, that sucks to hear. You're like, oh, but it's true. You lack discipline. You have no self-control over your food. You have no self-control over what you eat, what you drink. You lack discipline. I've been there, so I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I lack discipline. And you're not going to develop that discipline magically, okay? You struggle with telling yourself no. I struggled with telling myself no, which is why I was 340 pounds. We are impulsive when we're overweight and obese. We want things now. We're trying to get a hit, right? For me, food was a drug. It was a way for me to cope with my feelings because I didn't have any healthy tools to cope. So when I was stressed, I ate. When I was sad, I ate. When I was anxious, I ate. When I was happy, I ate. I used food for every single emotion possible. And there was no discipline in place. It didn't matter how many pints of ice cream I already ate. If I wanted ice cream, I would go and get some ice cream. It didn't matter if I had fast food for breakfast, I'm going to have fast food for lunch because that's what I want. It doesn't matter if I already drank a 2 liter of Sprite. I want more Sprite, so I'm going to drink more Sprite. There was never a cutoff for me. There was no discipline. And that doesn't magically appear on your lap, right? You have to work towards that. But when you're overweight and obese, you're not working towards it. So you just get bigger. Your cravings get stronger. Your impulsiveness gets stronger. Everything gets stronger. And you keep getting bigger, bigger, bigger. And the longer you wait to correct that, the worse off you're making it for yourself, because now you're going to have even more weight to lose. Imagine if your Monday came last year. Imagine if your tomorrow came 6 months ago, but it didn't. You're getting bigger. And it's the sad truth, but it's true. You can't keep going down a rabbit hole. You can't keep trying to not face yourself. You can't keep trying to hide from yourself. You know you have a problem. You don't need to watch this video to know that. You already know that. Now, of course, you push those feelings to the side. You don't want to think about it. You make excuses, of course, because it's easier. But you know, just as well as I know, you have a problem. I had a problem. So the question is, how much longer do you want to sit in your problem? How much longer do you want to complain about your problem? How much longer do you want to feel bad about your problem? Just imagine how good you'll feel when you just get started and keep going. See, that's the key. You might start for a day, right? You might start for breakfast, but by dinner, you're back to Chick-fil-A. Been there, done that. But imagine how much prouder of yourself you'll be because you start and keep going, okay? Listen, it's easy to delay. It's easy to procrastinate. It's easy to make excuses. That's the easy thing, which is why most people procrastinate. Most people do make excuses. Most people in the U.S. are extremely overweight. That's normal. In my particular area, and again, it could depend on the city that you're in, but I'm in Virginia. In my area, I see more overweight people than people who are healthy weight. So, it just is what it is. And that's not just in certain places. That's everywhere. So, even if I go to Whole Foods, I still see more overweight people at Whole Foods than I do healthy weight people. Even when I go to the gym, I see more overweight people at the gym than I see healthy weight people at the gym. In my particular city, it doesn't really matter where I go. I always see more overweight people than healthy weight. That's just, and again, I don't go too many places, but I'm just telling you guys, that's just what I experience on a day-to-day. So, it's easier to make excuses because changing yourself is hard, which is why most people don't want to do it. It's uncomfortable. It forces you to face yourself, and that's the part that, ruffles feathers. But at the end of the day, you're either going to get bigger or you're going to get smaller. I was getting bigger. I wasn't always 340 pounds, okay? I was gradually getting bigger year after year. You're going to gain about 5 pounds, maybe every 2 weeks, maybe 5 pounds a month, okay? Well, 5 pounds a month over the course of 12 months is 60 pounds. Yikes. Yikes. So that's what I'm saying. Even let's be a little more modest. Okay, maybe you don't gain 5 pounds. Maybe you gain 2 pounds a month. Okay, well, that still adds up. That's still 30 pounds a month. So what are we doing? 30 pounds a year. You're either getting bigger or you're getting smaller. Keep waiting until tomorrow. Go ahead. Keep waiting until Monday. You know what? Wait 10 more Mondays. Go ahead and wait 10 more Mondays and then get started. How about that? How about that? All right. Listen, I hope this video helps you. Leave a comment down below. Do you struggle with putting things off? Why do today what you can do tomorrow? Do you have that mindset? If so, what are you going to do to fix it? Also, make sure you guys join my Glow Up Academy. This is the space where you truly transform your life. The same transformation that I went on in my own personal life is the same transformation I'm taking you on. Okay, you're never by yourself when you're inside Glow Up Academy. Be around like-minded people who are trying to improve themselves every single day. Remember, the results that you want are achievable, but in order for you to get those results, it's going to require you to change who you are. The link is down below in my description, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.